Hmm.
And the silence settles.
Henry, good to see you.
Good to see you, man. Stefan, Michael.
Welcome. Good to see you back, everybody.
Yes.
Is this what Simon and Garfunkel meant by the song "This Is the Sound of Silence"?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Good song.
you've given me a good lead in there, Paul, because sound of silence, sound of silence is a paradox. And there's so many quote teachings out there about non-duality, but it's kind of funny because what's shared here at the meeting is not about a teaching. Because to teach something would have to be known.
By
Can you
someone.
teach?
Yeah.
Can you teach the unknown, or can you teach unknowing?
Well,
Who knows the unknowing? There has to be someone who knows that there is unknowing, right?
No.
well,
And how is it known? How is the unknown known if there is no knower of the unknown?
No, there doesn't have to be a knower for there to be known.
I don't see how.
But isn't the unknown, wait a minute, isn't the unknown unknowable?
oh my God.
Well, if it's unknowable, you wouldn't be talking about it. You can't talk about something you don't know.
Of course you can. People do it all the time.
Yeah. Okay, but that's just wordplay. That's just wordplay then. If you're saying that there's no one to know the unknown, it's just wordplay.
So Harvey,
That's
straighten
that's
us
all that's
out.
going on. Come on, that's all that's going on.
Oh, that's another statement from someone who knows something.
It's not.
Well, you say it's not. It is.
No, it's
You
not.
say it's not. I say it is. Well,
It's not,
but
is
saying
it?
it's not. Yeah, but saying it's not doesn't make it
Okay, so
so. Just to making this.
everybody here that is aware and awake and is understanding and is it's like, what does they know that? Who
Hell
knows?
no.
You don't. Who knows any? Nobody knows anything. There's nobody to.
Really,
Knowing
I know
can
lots of
appear.
things.
Knowing can appear all on its own, can't it?
Yeah, and who knows that?
Okay, there we go then.
Okay. Hey, boy, the kids are riled up to see. We haven't even gone 5 minutes, and
No, I mean these Michael, these statements have to be investigated.
so here, what's being shared cannot be spoken because in order to speak about the timeless, you need time.
In order to speak about the time, one must first.
What was that?
AI.
Right? You cannot
Oh,
speak.
damn it, it's getting everywhere, this AI.
So what's shared here is not knowable. There are things that can be known, tons of things that can be known. You know your car versus your neighbor's, hopefully. So there is a knowing, but that's not what we're discussing at this meeting. What's being shared is what's ever present, but it's not in time. And speaking takes time. So you can say anything you want. But whatever you say, it won't be about what this meeting's about. Nor what I say will it be what this meeting's about.
Thank goodness Casey's here to straighten us out, Casey. You missed everything. You missed it.
What did I miss?
Well, best not to go there.
Fair enough. Fair
Who
enough.
knows? Nobody knows what happened,
I
honestly.
like going there. I like going places. That's why I come here, to go there.
Now, being silent, the presence is uncomfortable for most of us. We're not used to being okay with silence.
Love that silence.
You can kind of feel the urge to fill the silence. We're often not comfortable in silence.
I think there's a when you say being uncomfortable in the silence, I would think that silence being the absence of just speaking, which is what most people are uncomfortable with, because something needs to be said. But I think that's different than the silence that is true silence. And when you touch that, you know that there's no uncomfortableness when there is true silence.
Yeah, beautiful, Don. Exactly right. It's a wordless piece. And that was all I was ever interested in, quite honestly, was peace. That's it. Now,
The
again,
knowing that,
I'm
sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, Tony, then you, again, that frees you up to say whatever you want, because this can never be described, what we're pointing at. Go ahead, Tony.
Yeah, I was just going to say that the mind that you need to know things in the relative, which are thoughts. Yeah, we all understand that. But when there is no mind, when there's no thought, there is still the knowing that you are. And you could say that that's unknowing because what is known is you as the subject. So you're not an object. Only objects can be known. So you as the subject are unknowable, but yet it is still known by yourself. You, the impersonal you. You know that you are you, even when there's no mind. That's the unknowing, I would say.
Yeah, I made a post yesterday about Tim Kliss talking about doubtless uncertainty. Doubtless uncertainty. And what that's pointing at is nothing can actually really be known, because if I say it's this, someone else could say it's that. If I say there's just here, someone could say there's there. So the opposites, in a way, are useful tools, but they don't actually lead anywhere. So there's no knowing what this actually is. There's useful things. It's useful to know there's chocolate cake in the refrigerator when I'm done on this Zoom. That's useful. But as far as what this is and what I am, I would say there's no knowing of that.
If you eat that chocolate cake, there's I'm having a hard time separating that chocolate cake in the refrigerator that you're going to have. I'm thinking about that. How maybe that can't be separated from whatever it is you're referring to. That there is no separation in the first place. That you say there's a chocolate cake, I say there's no chocolate cake. Your knowing is that there's a chocolate cake. My knowing is that there's not a chocolate cake. It's all known.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make any difference what you say. It's all known. So everything is known. There, I'm going to say here to get things going, there is nothing unknowable. It's all known. Whatever you say is known, because whatever you say is the Tao expressing. So it's all known already before you eat the chocolate cake.
Yeah, I'd go with that, Don, because ultimately you are the self, and there is only the self, and that is known by itself. So if you are the self, then there's no such thing as an illusion, because everything is real. Everything is real. There is only reality. It only seems unreal if there's separation. When the separation dissolves, there is only the real. And that's you. You are the reality. So when Michael says it's unknown, it's unknown in the sense that you're not known because you're not an object. You're not an object. You're the ultimate subject. Therefore, it's unknown. You can only know objects. But even then, when the separation disappears, all of these objects are nothing other than your own self. There is not two.
You know, maybe this sort of debate, if I could call it that, of the knower and the known, whether there is or isn't. And sometimes, and I know in the philosophy world, people debated for years and so on. But maybe it doesn't ultimately matter in that it may seemingly appear like there's a knower and a known, and that's what appears, and then just leave it at that. In other words, of course, we could debate determinism versus indeterminism. Is there a knower? Is there a known? But what seemingly appears for many is that it appears like there is a knower and it appears like there's a known. That doesn't mean there is, but does it really matter in terms of living day to day? You know what I'm saying? That we could debate it, but these are just concepts.
Absolutely agree with that. Yeah. Yeah. It stops mattering when it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
When it
And
doesn't
I'm
matter
not saying
anymore.
Right. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing to talk about or anything. There's no judgment there. But I've often wondered, it's like asking the question, what is real versus non-real, which I ask in classes. But in the end, these are just concepts, and we create a duality or these opposites. And maybe there is real versus unreal. Maybe it's both. Maybe it's neither. And that these words are just clouding something else, but it seemingly appears that these opposites are there. And maybe they are, maybe they're not. The willingness to be in that unknowing is to say, hey, maybe it's we don't really know. And it appears like there is real versus unreal, or knower and known.
Yeah.
It depends how you define those words, real and unreal. So for
Yeah.
me, unreal is just that which is changing, which appears and disappears is unreal, and that which is not changing is real.
Right. And if that's workable, if that's pragmatically workable, that's fine. But all the definitions, they may be correct, they may be not correct, and yet we use them in talking and communication. But I often wonder if we lock ourselves that when we ask those questions like knower, known, real, unreal, that there's an underlying assumption in the question that those polarities actually are there. And then we get into the debate, but we don't see that the underlying assumption created a polarity.
That's a very good point, Harvey. Very good
Yeah.
point.
But that's all all that you said, Harvey, which is beautiful, that's all it too.
Yes.
I mean,
And
that everything you said is the Tao. Everything you said is perfect and okay.
yeah, it's perfect and complete just as it is.
Yeah.
And Don, the way you express it as to Tao, because even though I'm not on here that often, but I listen every week, so I know Don, you'll use the expression it's all the Tao, and any word doesn't matter. But yeah, it's also perfect and complete just as it is. And so that's what's appearing, or that's the Tao expressing itself, as you might say, and it's perfectly okay.
Don
Because
is
it is.
really into the Tao these days. Tao Don.
But
Tao Don.
but what I like in the way that Don has expressed himself over, I've seen this sort of change over a couple of months actually, is that there's that sort of equanimity because everything is just what it is. And so nothing is necessarily better or worse than anything else. It just may appear like that, or we may say it, but everything is just the Tao expressing itself.
I really like Don Dowing because because it always, like when Manny and I are reading, I'm going, no, wait a minute, that's Don's Tao, because whatever is manifesting is it. It doesn't matter, you know. It's not like one thing's more spiritual than another, or when there's not this whole like the levels, the
SMS from Alex.
anyway, the levels are they're all it too. So
Michael, I had something I wanted to read from Eckhart Tolle on this.
Yeah, please.
Is that all right? The truth is far more all-encompassing than the mind could ever comprehend. No thought can encapsulate the truth. At best, it can point to it. For example, it can say all things are intrinsically one. That is a pointer, not an explanation. Understanding these words means feeling deep within you the truth to which they point. And that was it. It's just from The Stillness Speaks, this book.
Love that book.
Yeah.
The
But
map is not
yeah,
the map is not the territory.
yeah, yeah.
So
Sorry to say.
here, the suffering was thinking I knew.
Yeah.
And that's why I like Tim's doubtless uncertainty. Because there's no doubt that I don't know.
So you know that you don't know. I love that. I love that.
My suffering is interesting. My suffering is in that I don't know. That's my suffering.
And as a seeker, that's all I wanted to do was know the ultimate truth. And that kept me seeking for, almost my whole life.
Did that?
I agree with you. I agree with you, Don. Suffering, doubt is suffering.
Michael, did that shift at any point from into a knowing that you don't know, but still thought you did know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
that is one of the traps of non-duality, because it feels so good to go from feeling like a little bitty me that was just had no power, and suddenly I'm everything. Oh, that's nice. That feels good. But that eventually, as they say when they have those fire sales, it all must go. You guys try not to make too much noise because Addie's sleeping.
Yeah, I was just going to say that Addie doesn't have any doubts right now.
Yeah.
Daddy Shishka baby.
Shishka baby.
So you bring up the idea of doubts and suffering, and we could throw in fear in that, because the fear of not knowing brings up this fear of being exposed by something that it's not real, that that it's never been real. And that's devastating to the self-centered ego that wants to pretend that it at least knows something.
Yeah, doubt and fear definitely go together.
Yeah.
Well, look at all the arguing and fighting going on in the world, on the news, on the internet. I'm right, you're wrong. The left is right, the right is right. You know, there's just bickering
Actually, yeah.
between the duality. There's just arguing, and it never actually leads anywhere. Go ahead, Abby.
Sometimes I listen to arguments. I was talking to Casey about this. Sometimes I listen to arguments and like I'll listen to one point, I'll be like, oh, that's a pretty good point. And then I'll listen to the other point and be like, that's also a good point. I agree with both.
Yeah.
And then like they don't really work together because I agree with both of the points. And I'm like, well, what can you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful though, right? Because as we'll just say, as what you are able to see both sides, where before you would tend to align with one or the other. I completely agree with you, Addie. I have, and I was not always like this, but now I can see the kernel from where that person's coming from. And for them, I could see, yeah, if I believe that, I'd be saying the same stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's that belief thing, isn't it? The power of belief. It's like an automatic. I was thinking about this earlier in the week. It's like a magnetic force drawing the mind into itself and saying, "Oh, there's something to know," and draws it in, and then belief springs out of it. You know, like this eternal well, and then this is the way it goes.
The problem is the magnet also works the other way and pulls the mind outside towards objects and identifies with objects.
Have you noticed in friends and acquaintances and stuff like that that you're compelled to choose sides? And then when you don't, that's your side you've chosen, and it's like an alienation of I don't want anything to do with you anymore, because you're not with me is what it is. And obviously you must be wrong if you're not with me. That goes on, and that's what Michael's talking about as far as the human race right now. It's just caught up in sides, one side or another.
I think the race is well, what I like to say that everybody's an I and everyone's competing to be the best and the only I.
The right eye.
Yeah. No, I'm right.
I watched a TV show where a guy, it's called Living with Yourself, where he had a surgery done by two Chinese guys, where he was like he was split almost. He had a clone made, and the clone was his perfect self. But it had a botched surgery, so he continued to live the bad self that he was trying to get rid of. So there was two of him, one bad one and one good one, and they were always arguing and fighting. But at the end, they just made up and they loved each other. And I thought that was, and they kind of like switched sides. Like the bad one became the good one, and the good one became the bad one. You're like, what is going on here?
What is going on here?
Yeah.
What you begin to see is that the human characteristics are not personal. Nobody owns jealousy. Nobody owns hatred. Nobody owns judgment.
Mm.
Yeah, they're like frequencies of their own, aren't they? And then people inhabit them. They kind of, oh, I'm in the judgment zone today, and then they're out of it.
Yeah.
Green light for jealousy.
Green light for jealousy.
Yeah, so how painful is jealousy, right? It's so painful.
Feels good. I love it. No.
I have to say, I'm jealous of your hair, Casey.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah. Fair
Yeah.
enough, man. Fair enough. Bald is beautiful, though. You know, I'm
Oh,
trying to be
thank
more
you.
like you. Well, I'm slowly balding, but it's coming.
So where does awareness fit in? The one prior to thought fit in.
I mean,
Is there?
because all we have is words, it's just a pointer. But no word can ever nail it. That's what you end up seeing. You just can't ever define this. So have at it, all definitions, no definitions.
There's no room for awareness in the infinite space of mind. Too many words, cover it up.
Well, because if you ask a newborn baby, don't you know your awareness? The baby has no idea what you're talking about.
Huh?
Or like even a kid, they'll be like, "Can we go play?" Like, what are you talking about? Just shut up.
You're basically still there, Eddie, right? So you can just shut up. I want to go play.
There was a book called a long time ago, I think maybe in the 70s, it was called Spiritual Materialism.
Yeah.
Rigpao Rinpoche.
Trungpa Rinpoche.
Yeah, thank you, Don. And he was saying you can get just as glommed on to spiritual concepts as you can do to money or power or sex.
Yeah.
You can only describe awareness using other words that you can't describe either. So you could say awareness is sentience, aliveness, presence. But those words that you're using can't be described either.
Yeah. So, right? That's the dog chasing the tail. So you just wave the white flag. That's what Leela and I talk about is we just ran out of fucks. We just ran out of tries. We just didn't know, and we got exhausted, and we finally like waved. I don't know, and
I have so little fucks. Like, it's bad. Yeah.
That's such a good analogy.
Totally.
Some of us got like a big bag. Got a lot of fucks to give, but we think they're gone. We still coming. But when it runs out, I don't know. I think when it runs out.
well, they just lose their. It doesn't mean the fucks can't come up. It's just that they no longer have the charge because you just go,
I have a lot of care. I wouldn't say fuck.
Oh, I give up.
Yeah, but waving the white flag is surrender, right? So that's surrender is exactly what dudes like Ramana spoke about, and Nisargadatta and surrender.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like something you could choose though. Like surrender.
I did a lot of that.
It just happens.
That's such a good question, man. Can you choose to surrender? You can try.
I would surrender for 7 hours at a time.
I'll surrender for the next hour.
Paul, that's funny. You can like pencil it into your day timer from 3 to 4.
Getting rid of all your fucks time.
Surrender all my fucks.
Yeah.
So how does it just happen then, based on what Addie's saying, which is so beautiful? How we it seems to happen. It seems to happen. People speak of it happening. So how does it happen? Since we can't, how does it happen? Since it's not of us.
Well, you make a choice to do self-inquiry. So even if you're not making a choice, it appears that you are making a choice. So even though there's no doer, it appears that you are making a choice, whether you're doing self-inquiry or whether you open the fridge to get something out to eat. It seems like you're making a choice. So it can also seem like you're making a choice to do inquiry. And self-inquiry is that which leads to surrender.
I would say so, yeah. I would say like when you ask certain questions, it can bring you into a certain space, like who is talking, or how far away is the image in front of your face or something, or like just random questions you can ask yourself.
Yeah, there's all kinds of shit you can do. but I mean, I don't think anybody should get tangled up about whether there's a choice. If there seems to be a choice, then just go with it. I mean, who cares whether there's choice or not?
Totally.
There appears to be, that's good enough, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. You don't need a choice to eat the chocolate cake. You just eat it.
I think there is a critical mass, though, isn't there? There's a point where something just kind of gives in, and then it becomes more obvious that that's happened. That there's just that the I don't know whether it's again, I'm thinking of this magnetism, the draw and the pull towards being right or things mattering, that subsides to a degree. Things just don't, they're just not as important. They don't matter as much, and then little bit by little bit, they don't really matter at all.
That's it.
And then when things do, they do. But
yeah,
there is a critical mass.
The matter, exactly, Paul. It's you can't make that mattering go away, but somehow things just don't seem to matter so much anymore. And not in a bad way. I'm not saying that like in a depressed way. Yeah.
I would say they matter even more in some ways, like the care for other people, the care to do something right, or the care, I don't know, like taking care of your body or something like that, or making money. I don't know. This there's less separation and less like mental struggle almost. It's all that matters almost is this life that's going on. But it doesn't really matter. But
yeah, it's that. Just that, again, I come back to this sense of this magnetism towards self, I guess, towards being unique. It's that changes. But I totally get what you're saying, Addie. Yeah, things become so much more. I don't know. Like for me, crying is just like amazing. It's just just amazing. It matters in that moment. It's just like. I don't know, it kind of flourishes, and there's no understanding why, but it's like, wow, what's this? It was just happened earlier today. I was just sat doing something, and some tears came up, and I really just felt them release. But as they released, the tears released into just smiles, and it wasn't me trying not to cry. It was just it's like, oh, and the beauty of it and the simplicity, and then the smile that came with it as well. It was just like, you know, it is. You can't explain it, but
Actually, Addy, what you said about compassion towards others is really important because that helps with the surrender. That's why compassion is particularly a big thing in Buddhism, I think, isn't it? You know, what is it? Loving kindness, that kind of thing. That helps with the surrender. But of course, surrender is just as simple as being with the I thought, just being with the I-ness and just letting it go. That's all it is. And that's something you actually could pencil into the diary.
So we're saying that there is something we can do to get to this unknowable. Is that true? I'm still
To
trying
help you
to work
notice.
it on my head.
It's
help you
true.
notice.
You might discover at the end that there's no one doing it, but until then, you could do it. Yes.
Help with the noticing.
no, but I'd be with you,
Noticing.
John. There
Yeah,
isn't
actually,
anything you
Casey,
can do.
that's a good word. Noticing. Noticing is a very
It's
good
already
word.
there, you know, it's helping with the noticing.
Yeah, because it's already there. That's the point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Acknowledging, noticing.
But where is the will to notice?
Well, it
Where does
seems to
that come from?
appear. It doesn't matter. It seems to appear, so just go with it. There's no need to analyze, I think. You know, if the will to do it is there, then that's what it is. Well, that's what it is. You know, why question it?
Like right now, what is, I don't know how to even ask it really. Um, like the me that you are so diligent in thinking is there, raving is it? Or like, where is it? Can you even find it? And if you try to find it, what's even the answer? Is there an answer? What even is it? What's it made of? You know, how far away is it from the back of your eyes? How far away is it from your ears? I don't know. It's right about there.
Somebody said to me once, well, look, who is there to do self-inquiry? There's no one here to do self-inquiry. And I said, well, what happens when you go shopping for groceries? And they go, well, I go shopping for groceries, but it's just happening. I say, okay, well, look, do the self-inquiry in exactly the same way you don't go shopping for groceries.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's the thing is that life is so simple. It's just like chores and doing, you know, it doesn't have to be like some weird spiritual thing where it's like, yeah, you know, it's doing chores, going to work, napping, eating food, playing with your dog, going on a walk, you know. It's just, you know, yeah.
Something you said earlier, Michael, or someone just made me think about how, what matters, Paul, what matters and things, and Addie, like things still matter. For me personally, I feel like the mattering was all up here before in my head, and
That's
now
such a,
the
yes.
mattering definitely is dropped down to like just what naturally matters to my heart.
Mm.
It doesn't get to tell me what matters anymore. It doesn't have a microphone. So yeah, like something matters still, but it's different. It's very nice. Less heady. Less heady.
Mm.
Well, I would say the mattering never disappears. There's
Beautiful.
nothing wrong with something mattering. It's whether you're
Yeah.
I
attached
agree.
to the
I
The
mattering
agree.
or
attachment
not.
to the mattering. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like if you see a child crying on the sidewalk because they lost their mom, you're gonna be like, it doesn't matter. Fuck you. Goodbye, child. You're gonna be like,
Yeah.
If you
come
give
here,
them
honey.
candy,
Right.
sometimes it doesn't matter anymore. You know?
If a child is being tortured in front of me, I go, nah, it's just Maya. It's just an illusion.
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah. Just Maya. Just the totality of all reality and emotions and everything coming together, you know.
Maybe we can come up with all these scenarios and stuff, but when the moment happens, that's when the action takes place.
Well, actually, this is the only moment.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was profound.
What does the Tao of Dawn say?
I said that was profound what Michael said. It's just like, okay, can't go nowhere now.
I'm stuck here. That's it.
I love the way this group speaks about non-duality. It's so open. I mean, that's why it's about non-duality, but it's so true to non-duality because it's so open. Does that make sense? So open that anything's allowed. And so non-duality is not as much spoken about as the process of whatever it is we're doing is like the non-duality. It's so beautiful here. It's so open.
So I would say that is one thing that has dropped away. I definitely here was living in the past. You know, I used to lay in bed and could fantasize for hours about my first girlfriend, our first kiss, our first holding hands, very romantic, and just get lost in it because it felt so damn good. But eventually it's dry. Eventually those memories begin to get like cardboard. It's not the real. There's a craving for what's and even there's no definition for real, but it ended up being just whatever's happening right here, right now.
And what's happening right here, right now includes everything. So it includes the so-called past or the future. So being right here, right now includes everything. As I was thinking, like it includes my childhood now, all of my childhood now, and it includes all my future now, as opposed to now being separate from the past or the future. That the past and the future is included in the now. The now is awesomely inclusive of everything. Now. Never then. No childhood. Now. No childhood. No girlfriend. No boyfriend. Whatever. No. Now. Everything now.
Yeah, but Don, where is that childhood? If there's no thought about
now
childhood,
it's
where
now.
is it?
Now.
Yeah, but where is it?
Now.
If there's
I see what's happening, dude. Don't do it.
Oh boy.
I don't mean to be rude.
Is it a full moon?
That's the power of now.
Oh.
No, really.
Wow, now I know why he sold so many books.
Yeah.
It's inspirational, Don. Oh my God. Oh.
Everything contained in the now. I keep getting that's like
actually you could write a book, Don.
Everything contained in the Big Bang. Everything was contained, right? Supposedly in the Big Bang. And in the now includes the Big Bang.
So bang it.
And everything else.
Don, you should write a book. You should write a book because you're talking about your childhood. You should write a book called The Power of Then.
Oh my God.
Oh, that'll be a New York bestseller. I know it just based off the title alone, the publicity you get.
But I want to talk about what Tony just said, because if you look like that, my childhood, you could, I know what you're saying, Don. You can have an imagining now of a supposed past. But what I think Tony's point to, where's my childhood isn't here. There's no childhood here. It's a concept. It's an idea. It's an imagining. And as you're saying, Don, nothing wrong with that. But it was getting clear that it was just an imagining, just a concept. It wasn't actual. My childhood is not actually here.
Yeah, and a memory of childhood is a new thought happening now.
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 Now,
Now.
That's it's
Sorry,
a good
Michael.
point.
It's happening.
It's a good point because they've shown, well, science, they've shown that no memory is the same. It's altered in every moment, and
Oh, wow.
in the this is a sudden or an intimate and immediate appearance that kind of lives and dies to itself immediately, and that's just
yeah.
apparently happening over and over and over and again, which gives some sense of continuity. But nothing is the same, no memory the same, nothing. It's all fresh, it's all new, it's just boom in your face. And then concepts dilute it and classify it, and which is wonderful in its own way. But when we bring it back to the raw reality of it, this is just here and gone at the same time.
Yeah, it's absolutely right. I mean, that new memory is being changed by new conditioning. So it's being continually modified by old conditioning and new conditioning.
Yeah.
Exactly. So this moment has never happened before, and now it's gone. And now it's ever fresh.
And think about it.
The power of 10 seconds ago.
There's another book for it. That's the sequel.
Power of the
The
past.
sequel to the Power of Now.
Power
Is
of
the sequel- Power of 10 seconds
The
ago.
power of later.
No, Stephanie, that would be the prequel. The sequel is The Power of Next Week.
The power of work tomorrow.
Power of I'll do it tomorrow. Peace. Oh, man. All right. That's good shit.
Yeah, we're due for another book. Remember Be Here Now? And then The Power of Now?
Yeah.
And it's about time for another one to come up.
Yeah, Ram Dass, Be Here Now.
Yeah, Be Here Now.
Yeah, but come on. You can't get out of the now.
Yeah.
Yeah, notice it.
And then they say there is no now because that implies the then or the after.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is going on here? Like, what is the conditioning that is foisted upon us upon being born, going to school, kindergarten, listening to your elders, following the rules? There's so much conditioning on top of that raw, naked, here you go, Tony, awareness. The pure, whatever it is, it's being conditioned. And so many of us live in that bubble of conditioning. And it's very difficult to notice that. For most people, it's accepted. The cage that most of us live in of limitation is so ubiquitous that it's not even noticed.
And also the conditioning builds the character, It sort of as children we're super wild and like untamed, and then as you become an adult you learn how to do chores and do all these different things and get a job and all these things, and it's all conditioning, all of it really. And, yeah, but it's just a story. But it seems so.
Well, here's my question to you. How much of this did you sign off on? Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Steph. That's what hit me. I didn't agree to any of this. And suddenly I feel like I'm in a system that I had nothing to do with creating. It just seemed to be here.
Mhm.
And nobody, and so I have to tell you, as a kid, I tried so hard to fit in. I was in the Boy Scouts. I believed in the the government would never hurt us. They protect us. They love us. What a load of steaming shit.
How about the now is happening?
The what?
The now is happening.
It's funny. I think I come from the point of view in practice that I signed up for everything,
Yeah.
which may be maybe the same thing you're saying. I signed up for everything because everything, if I am the self, it all comes from me. So I did sign up that this birth and this life had to come from me, had to be expressed through me or as me or however you look at it. So I signed up for everything. Nothing can happen to me that was not set up by me already.
Sounds like too many thoughts. It's just like it's like a lot of added on to this moment, you know. Oh, I don't know. It doesn't seem like I really chose whatever the hell is happening.
There's some
If I'm
underlying
being completely
conditioning,
honest.
man.
Yeah.
You keep
Well,
saying I as if there's like some, you know,
well, exactly, Casey.
saying
So
I. We all keep saying I.
where did you learn the word I from? Who told you
That,
you're a me? Where did the word me come
Yeah.
from? I didn't, that didn't. So we begin to get sensitive to the conditioning, and it will surprise you because you'll think, oh, I see the conditioning. Come on, it's not going to fool me.
the
Just wait.
I is the condition.
Is a
I is
conditioning a
totally conditioned
submission?
into us.
Well, Manny, the conditioning is the submission. You're.
I'm allowing it to. It's almost like unwillingly, or it just happens. But it's
Well,
almost like letting something in the door that you don't want.
even the language. You learned the language. You
Yeah.
didn't come up with it. You were told it. It was indoctrinated into you.
Hmm.
Yeah, but Michael, we can, as we talked about before, you can do a Fred Davis on it. We talked about this before, Fred Davis. You can say this unit is thinking that he refers to himself as this unit. I think we talked about that before, didn't we?
Yeah.
That's just Fred's way, isn't it?
Yeah, it's more conditioning.
I love it.
Oh, you all know Fred.
Yeah, this unit, me, they're all words that were learned. Again, what's being pointed at is the wordless.
But what Don's saying though is, can the conditioning be looked at because it's the one that the conditioning equals is the Tao, I guess you could say. It's all from, in a way, it's
Well, it's both.
like it's not the enemy.
Yeah, it's
It's
perfect.
innocent.
Yeah.
It's
It's
innocent.
good. Without
Even our
conditioning,
parents,
stories.
even
Sorry.
my parent calling me, "You are Stephanie," or whatever. That if it's true that it's all from the one or from being, then that's a different way of looking at it all.
Yeah, exactly. If the I is not separate, then what's the problem
Yeah.
with saying I?
Yeah.
Right.
Everything is permitted.
It's so beautiful if there isn't eyes or is or isn't.
So
It seems like there is. So beautiful.
yeah. So that nothing has ever happened to you. It appears that way, the way we do, but nothing has ever happened to you. You have never been conditioned from anything outside of you. All conditioning is self-conditioning, which is very powerful, because now we've got, got some leverage around it. We don't have to blame the others and the family and this and the religions, and we don't have to blame any of that. There's no more blame. It can all be brought here and seen.
Yeah, nothing happened. And also you are not touched by it.
Yeah.
Right. Good. That's hard to get. Yeah.
More than just that unit there.
Wow.
Hey,
Just
but
that,
Far more.
But we
Don,
always want to have the others. I remember I used to have this Armenian boyfriend from Selma, California, the raisin capital of the world, where there are all these Armenians. And they would always say the Odars, the others. You know, it's the others, you know, the Odars.
Odars.
Well, I don't know. Maybe we should be more cantankerous at all our meetings because this hour flew by.
Oh, totally.
yeah, what a great meeting.
Yeah. You got it.
Easy for you to say.
I don't know. There's a kind of an energy there, which is really quite nice.
just remember, folks, there is no self without conditioning.
So take all your units away now and just put them in the corner. Unplug them if you want.
Oh yeah, unplug the unit. That's a thought.
That's what my grandson was saying about the VR world as he was nodding off to sleep, and he said, "Is this when they pull the plug on the VR?"
This is what real death is like.
That's right. Till morning.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh.
I'll go back to sleep, Addy.
Okay, you guys are crazy. Thanks so much, everybody. Mwah. Love you.
Thank you.
Have a great night, everybody.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye, everyone.